I am Zachary, and at the time of writing this, it has been 3 weeks since the fateful night when I played the NES Godzilla game. Going back to that night, to immediately after I turned off the NES, once I was able to start walking around again, the first thing I did was unplug the NES, take out the cartridge, and put them in a separate sock drawer. I looked over at my computer. All the screenshots you've seen in the story were saved. I backed up all the images on a flash drive before I turned off the computer, just in case. After that, I hit the bed and instantly passed out. It was not a restful sleep, but one of complete exhaustion. It felt like no time had passed before I woke up again. And what a day that was. The first thought I could recall coming to mind was, what the hell happened last night? I thought about it for a short while, until it occurred to me to contact the person I got the game from to begin with, Billy. So I called him and told him to just come by to my apartment, which he did. After I showed him the screenshots, he gave me a very basic summary of what had happened. At first, he thought I was pulling a joke on him, but he soon realized that was not the case. Once it hit him that this was real, he was speechless. He made it clear they had absolutely nothing to do with tampering with the game and had no idea about any of this. So then the obvious question was asked to Billy, where did you get the game from? I got the simple answer of another friend of mine that I trade games with. He assured me that this was a trustworthy person and he had never had any issues with the games he got before. So then Billy called him. But when we told the guy the story, he was completely shocked and surprised as anyone. Except he abruptly hung up on us. This clearly was going nowhere. Before Billy left that day, he asked me if I wanted him to take the cartridge and dispose of it. I sharply declined. He asked how I could possibly still want anything to do with that thing. I told him that I needed to think it over. And that was that. Billy and I haven't talked much since. Even though I told him that that wasn't a case, I get the impression that Billy thinks what happened to the game is his fault. After he left that day, I did some thinking. It was very hard for me to do anything else. I couldn't stop thinking about the game. There were so many questions left unanswered. What was Red? Was Melissa really in the game? How did she get there? Why did all this happen with this game? But the one question that kept me up for nights was, Red said he had known me for a long time. How? Ever since then, I couldn't shake this feeling that I was being watched. The game made me ask questions about death and reality in ways that I never wanted to think about. I'm not too sure of anything anymore. Constantly thinking about it soon began to have a negative impact on my life. I just didn't care about anything else at that point. By comparison, all the other day-to-day activities seemed utter pointless. I eventually decided that I had to choose between one of two things. Try to play the game again, or destroy it. I tried several times to convince myself of the former, but I never got much further than plugging the NES back in. Just touching the cartridge made me remember all the pain that I felt fighting Red. I wondered if perhaps playing the game again might cause something terrible to happen. I didn't know anything about this game or how it worked. It was too risky. I wasn't sure I could stand another round of the game anyway. So then it was time for the other option. Wanting to get some fresh air, I took the game with me and drove to the lake. I planned on throwing it in. I got up to the lake with the cartridge in my hands and I looked down at it. And I thought of Melissa. If what I experienced in the game was indeed genuine, doing what I did may have been the only way I could save her from endless torment. In a way, this warped game might have saved her soul. Damn it. Once that thought came to my head, I knew then that I wouldn't be able to destroy it. So I just sat down on the bench, gazing at the lake for about an hour. Ultimately, I decided on a third option. Selling the game on eBay. It may be selfish, but I promise you that it has nothing to do with money. I honestly don't care how much I get paid for this game, believe me. It's selfish because I don't want to take the responsibility of owning the cartridge anymore. I can't dwell on this forever. And the only way I can deal with this is by putting the game out of my life. So this brings me to the main reason why I'm creating a summary of these events. First is to record the details while I can still remember them. And the second is whoever bids on this game knows what they're getting into. I can't guarantee the safety of anyone who plays this game, or that anything will happen at all. But to the new owner of the game, remember this. Be careful. And if you feel as if the game is literally messing with your mind, shut the damn thing off.